Behind this door is my dream desk, or can I say my dream office, because after all, we are working with multiple people in here. So let's check it out. Welcome to my crib, guys. Now, before we start, guys, I want to give a huge shout out to Synology in this video. Over the past months, they have been helping us tremendously. As you can see, we work on Synology servers and we wanted to upgrade, and that's where they helped us. Also, we've been working on a brand new class about editing in Teams for Premiere Pro. And also there, they have been working very close together with us to provide accurate information about infrastructure for editing in Teams. And that is basically the heart of the office, and we're gonna talk more about that by the end of the video. For now, you can already check the first link in the description down below for more information. But now, let's start talking about the desk itself and how I built it. Basically, it's an entire custom-built desk, and the skeleton of it consists out of these steel pipes right here. It's basically attached to the wall, and so we have this floating desk. Of course, it is being supported by these IKEA drawers, and they're pretty strong apparently, because so far we didn't have any issues yet, and I can actually stand on this desk, which is pretty awesome. Now, on that steel skeleton, we have these wooden panels right here. Now, this is full oak, so it's pretty strong, and I've chosen for a bright color because I just like to work more in a bright environment. But the coolest thing of the entire desk is probably this middle column right here. It's the cable management box. So let's do an unboxing. So as you can see, guys, the desk is pretty strong because I can just stand on it. Anyways, this right here is my aluminum box full of cables, lots of cables. That's right. So for every person, we have all of the mouse, the keyboard, the monitors, all of those cables going into this cable management box, as well as several USB cables that I've pulled towards these connections right here in the front. So that way we don't have to run to our computer to attach some peripherals to it. Also, we have an audio jack for the headphones. So we got everything we need right here, but then where are the computers? Well, they are behind me. Here they are, guys, the 4 computers. They're tucked away underneath the desk all the way here to the wall. That way we have more space to sit. So basically, we don't need to worry at all about these computers. In the morning, we just turn them on and that's it. Because all the cables from that cable management box, they all come together here. And I've bundled the cables for every computer together. And so we can easily detach them and still have the cables together if we need to work on these computers. And so you're probably thinking now, Jordy, what's inside one of these things? Well, let's check it out. Let's detach one of these. The computers here are also custom built. All 4 of them in the office are exactly the same. Some noticeable components are the NVIDIA RTX 2080 Ti. Then we've got an Intel i9 processor, a 12-core running at a 3.5 gigahertz base clock, so they are pretty powerful. And last but not least, 64 gigs of RAM memory. Pretty badass. Now guys, these are actually supercomputers. That's right, because the way that they are set up is that they can crash at any given moment. We can just reinstall Windows without losing our files. What? I know, right? That is because they're all connected to our Synology NAS. That's right, this here is the heart of the entire office. Basically, all the computers are connected to this switch right here, as well as our 3 Synology NASs that we have, and so we can all access them through the network. Now, what's so amazing about the Synology NAS is you can see over there we got a bunch of bays, and in there we have hard drives. Now, they are configured in a RAID, so that means that 1 or 2 hard drives can actually fail. They can completely crash, and we can just very simply swap the drives and Synology will rebuild all of your data, and so you won't lose anything. So having that redundancy is amazing. So even if you're working alone, a NAS already has much benefits for you. You don't have to buy a big one like these. There are many models, and I would just go to the Synology website. They have a NAS Selector, which helps you find the NAS that suits your needs. Now, If you look on the back of the NAS, you'll see that there's no monitor connection or anything of that. So how do we access the Synology NAS? Well, it is connected to the network, so every computer can access the operating system of the NAS through the web browser. And from there, you'll see that we have different functionalities. We can give different permissions to everyone who's editing from or to it, but also we can install different applications with different functionalities. Just for example, we have this security camera outside. And so I have the security camera application installed. All of the footage is being stored on the local Synology NAS right here, and I can just watch that, view that on my tablet right here, even from home, anywhere where I am. Now, some of you might think you're editing to a server over the network. Isn't that like super slow? Well, yes. If you purchase a router or a new computer, you have to insert this cable right here into your Ethernet port. It not only gives you internet, but also access to other devices. And that has a speed of 1 gigabit per second, which kind of works if you're editing alone, but if you're working with multiple people, it might get super slow. So that is why we have adapted our network to support 10 gigabit speeds, which is 10 times faster. Basically what we've done is we have inserted a 10 gigabit network card into our Synology NAS, which is perfectly possible. Some of the NASs also come with a built-in 10 gigabit port, so you can just find all of that information on the website. Then we have to adapt all of our cables. These are not normal Ethernet cables. These are Cat6a cables, which supports those speeds. And as well as the computer itself, we had to install a 10 gigabit network card in there. So once you have all of those things set up, then you can just plug it in and enjoy 10 gigabit speeds. But what is that exactly? Well, let's take it to the test. So what I've got right here are a bunch of red raw files, and they're all stored on the big boy NAS over there. And I'm now just going to drag them all over to the local computer, and let's check out the speeds that we get from here. And as you can see, we are at around 1 gigabyte per second. Now that is just blazing fast, guys. And really, I challenge you, do try this at home. You'll never get these speeds. I'm sorry, guys. You actually can. If you take my class on Skillshare, you'll learn all about the details on how to set up a proper network to get these speeds, as well as how to set up your Synology NAS, and also a bunch of workflow tips inside Adobe Premiere Pro. And this class isn't only for those who work in teams. Also, if you are like a professional editor or you are a freelancer, you'll also gain lots of information from there, because I can highly recommend one of these NASs for basically anyone who takes their job serious. It's giving you blazing fast speeds, you get redundancy, and you get a ton of more functionality from it. So do make sure to check it all out. Links in the description down below. And that, guys, is my dream desk. If you have any more questions about the build of it, about the computers that we use, or the Synology NAS, let me know in the comments down below.
Hey Jordy, can you stop yakking? I want to start working again.
Stay creative, guys. So this right here is the copycat team, guys. Janik is back, as you can see, and these guys are super happy with their place maps that they use on their table. Look how happy they are. They're so special. Het is goed, we gaan doorwerken. Kom, allemaal terug doorwerken. Man, man, man.